an IRA specialist here at New View Trust. And today we're going to discuss how to put your self-directed IRA to work. Kind of give you a high-level overview of the many different asset classes you can invest in with your self-directed IRA. As always, we always go through these standard disclaimer at the beginning of each class. We serve as your custodian for alternative investments. NewView does not provide tax, legal, or investment advice, nor do we sell investments. We purely custody IRAs, education savings accounts, health savings accounts, and solo 401ks that hold alternative investments purely chosen by the client. So first, we'll start off. What is a self-directed IRA? The self-directed IRA is an IRA in which the owner directs all investment decisions. But the most important distinction here, self-direction is a marketing term. It's not a specific type of IRA. It's probably one of the most common questions I get every single day is wanting to specifically open a self-directed IRA or make sure they're opening a self-directed IRA. Traditional IRA here at NewView is the same traditional IRA you're going to find in any other custodian. We just offer more options on the back end that you can invest into. So just a quick explanation here. It's an IRA, like we just discussed. There is no special type of IRA account. There's no legal distinction between a self-directed IRA or any other IRA that's out there. This account allows you to save money to retire comfortably, but in a manner that you wish, instead of paying somebody to manage a portfolio, stocks, bonds, and mutual funds out there. You, as the owner, are allowed to choose the account and then choose the investments that fit what your goals are in the long run. Let's touch here. I believe this is our first class of the year, Amy, and correct me if I'm wrong. So let's touch on some of the new numbers for 2024. They did bump it up a little bit in the for 2024. The traditional IRA and Roth IRAs have now bumped up to $7,000 annually, with a $1,000 catch up for those over the age of 50. The solo 401ks and SEP IRAs have bumped up as well. You can now max out at $69,000 each year. That is a combination for that solo, where there's a personal contribution component, as well as up to 25% of the net proceeds of your business that you set up that solo QRP in. For the SEP IRA, it's similar to that. It's just a flat 25% of the net proceeds. There are no catch-up contributions for that SEP. Simple IRA has increased as well, up to $16,000. Education savings stayed at $2,000 for the year. And then the health savings account did bump up a little bit, whether or not it's a self-only plan or a family plan that you're covered under with those additional catch-up contributions for there. So that kind of talks about self-directed. Let's pause there. Amy, did any questions come in online yet?
Not yet.
All right, perfect. So what we'll do right now is we'll touch on the different self-directed asset classes that we have available to invest in here at NewView. Real estate is probably the most popular one we get as we go in, and we'll touch on a little bit what that looks like. Next, private equity, notes, and then cryptocurrency and other. That other encapsulates everything from public securities to precious metals to a few other different options that are available to you. So the importance of self-direction, one of the main things we want to touch on, allows you to diversify. Like we just discussed, there's several asset classes that you can invest into, but also diversification takes it a step further. You can diversify within that same asset class with exposure both geographically with the different asset classes that are available through real estate. Everything then becomes a potential investment opportunity for you, instead of just diversifying in the same stock market and only purchasing those public securities across different industries. One is control. You have the ability to enter and exit different markets at different times. You can, especially in private equity investing, you can invest in the very early stages or on or later stages of a private equity investment. The potential returns also can be a little higher on self-directed income. The risks are there also, but typically, especially in most markets in real estate, um, those returns can outpace the stock market, S&P 500 stocks, things like that. You can use it to align your personal values. Maybe you don't want to invest in different companies. You only want to invest in hard assets. You only want to invest in certain companies. You only want to invest with church bonds and different opportunities inside of that asset class there. So there's a lot of opportunities to align with your personal values instead of only having that pure uh, stock market exposure. Allows you to tailor your strategy. We just talked about that with diversification. It can assist in estate planning and give you the ability to plan for the future. So that way, when you do have assets that you pass down from generation to generation, the taxes may be already taken care of inside of a Roth estate plan, and owning those types of assets inside of that can help when you do move your assets to a future generation. They don't have to pay a huge tax bill just for inheriting your accounts. Um, and lastly, it allows you to invest in what you know. Maybe you're a realtor out there and you want to invest in your local stock market. It allows you to take control of your retirement and invest in what you know. And also allows you to really be plugged into your market and help give your clients those real life examples for the assets that you're trying to sell them also. So we'll touch here different types of assets. Just to begin with, one thing we always want to talk about is the things that you can't own within your um, self-directed IRAs. Really, there's only two asset types that you cannot purchase. One is a life insurance contract, because that's for not for when you retire. That's a little later than retirement. And then collectibles. Obviously, the price on those can be highly volatile, tough to pin down. So the IRS said those two items you cannot purchase. Everything else, as long as it's structured in a smart way, you're not doing business with close family members or yourself. Um, the your imagination kind of controls what you're allowed to invest in there. So off the top with real estate, it can be any of these types of real estate purchases. Everything from short-term rentals, long-term rentals. It can be fix and flips, buy and hold. It can be vacant land. Mineral rights are also another opportunity that can be owned within a self-directed IRA. Commercial property, and a lot of other benefits as well. Even tax liens. Tax liens are a hidden gem in the self-directed IRA, where you can get a really good return on investment potential out there if it's the right deal. And we have other classes in regards to investing in tax liens and how that can be an advantage for those that are interested. Like I said, you not only have the ability to diversify within those asset classes, you can also diversify within different types of real estate. So commercial real estate may be advantageous depending on the market. Residential real estate may be advantageous in the market. And then there's REITs out there, real estate investment trust. This gives you the ability to have that real estate investment without having to deal with the toilets and the tenants that comes along with real estate, where you can invest into a real estate fund that then uses that to invest later on. So it's fractional ownership, but it gives you a lot of flexibility there, and also without most of the headaches that comes along with investing in real estate, especially on the residential side. One of the other common and popular asset classes that we run into is private lending. This is where the IRA loans money, whether that's in a secured or unsecured basis, meaning whether or not it's tied to collateral. The benefit to this is you create the terms. You can create how long you're lending for, what the interest rate's going to be, any sort of fees that are covered by the borrower, All of that can be done. The IRA is then earning that income in a tax-free or tax-deferred environment, allowing you to reinvest that capital at the end of that contract. Like I said, you make all the rules. You get to keep it at arm's length. Ultimately, if it works for you and you're not lending to those close family members that I mentioned before, it's something that can be done in that tax-free or tax-deferred manner. One of the most common things, and I know our president mentions this one a lot. Return of principal is always more important than return on principal. So make sure you're setting up good terms on both sides, because ultimately that's one of the better thought processes out there. Anytime you're entering any sort of investment. Private equity, kind of as things continue through, these can be anything from trusts to LLCs to limited partnerships and joint ventures. It can be, like I said earlier, at the very end in the seed capital stage. It can be towards the tail end when they're raising additional capital for new ventures. But this space allows you to get exposure to companies that may not be on the stock market, private companies that are looking to grow, looking to start, and everything from there. And there's many different stages that you can get into on these. And then from there, continue to grow that IRA in that tax-free or tax-deferred manner. Cryptocurrency. This is one of the faster growing asset classes that is out there. A lot of conversations about this. We've had several classes about this so far in the previous catalog. Once you decide if this is something you want to go into, our teams are standing by to assist in setting up that account so you can invest either through Cboe Digital, which is formerly ErisX, or Gemini. So we create the platform, invest the money, and then you can use that to purchase any of these cryptocurrencies that may be available for you. Precious metals is another topic that is popular, especially in some of the more turbulent times that we've been seeing in the market. A lot of conversations do come up about investing in precious metals, mostly surrounding gold and silver, but there's several other metals that people may invest into. One of the most important things to remember, anytime you're investing with your IRA, it has to be at hand's length. So you have to find a depository to hold those metals. You cannot personally have those in your possession, because that may be considered self-dealing. One of the things that we do here at NewView is we allow you to choose that depository at your discretion through what's called a checkbook LLC. If you have any questions about that, we can chat further. You can give me a call and we can talk further about that. But that allows you the freedom to create your own single member LLC at your choosing. And then you have the ability to choose the depository that makes you feel the most comfortable, since they are holding this physical asset for you. You can control the fees. You can control a lot of elements there instead of only using the depository that we have an agreement with. And it allows you to be a lot more flexible. If you get a bad feeling and you want to change depositories, you have that flexibility there. So, but these are a few of the precious metals that can be invested into: gold, silver, platinum, all of the above. The benefits to self-directed investing. We already touched on a few of these, but we'll run through it. Diversification. We don't really need to hit on too much more. Tax savings. The benefit to investing either in a traditional account is it grows tax deferred. So you're essentially delaying those capital gains tax, putting capital gains off almost permanently, because you're only taxed at income rates when you start pulling money out. And then if you invest in these in a Roth account, it gives you the ability to invest in that post-tax money. So then you're not taxed when you start taking money out. And then lastly, I know we touched on it earlier, but you can invest in what you know best. So if you're a real estate agent, you're an entrepreneur that knows businesses, you get a great idea that may be out there in industry in an emerging market, give you the ability to invest in what you know best. There are risks. Obviously, there is a lack of professional guidance with self-directed IRAs. Now, there may be financial advisors, investment advisors that may also utilize these self-directed vehicles. So, if you have any questions about that, there may be experts in that field that can assist in that. Um, Market volatility can cause wide swings. Obviously, in the real estate market, a lot of us went through the 2008, 2009 market there. That can give that volatility. The COVID pause on a lot of things caused a lot of market volatility across many different industries. So that may cause there. Some assets are illiquid, right? If you purchase a property, you're locked into that property until you can sell it. So it may create some illiquidity in your retirement fund. So if you're getting closer to that age, especially with traditional IRAs that need to take those RMDs, which are required minimum distributions, it may be advantageous to slowly just look at those long-term plannings to make a plan for that illiquid asset and everything from there. So when you're looking to get started with self-direction, it's important to assess any risk tolerance and reach out to anybody that may be able to advise you in those, so you're not feeling like you're purely going it alone. If you do need those additional inputs, set your investment goals. Make sure you're doing your due diligence on each asset to make sure you understand everything from there. And then make sure you're truly looking at diversifying that portfolio. Don't have all your eggs in one basket, unless you really know that basket, essentially. So there's many different tools and platforms that may be available for you to diversify your portfolio and give you those different options. And then staying informed. Use our website. Use our podcast studio, all about alts, and I'll leave a code for you to find that podcast. There's a lot of great information. Stay informed. Use Google, use YouTube, use Yahoo News, use whatever form you need to stay informed on that. Regularly assess your portfolio and your risk and everything. And then when you need it, seek professional advice and make sure that strategy still aligns and makes sense. Don't just set it and forget it. So what to do next? We're going to pause. Before we go there, why don't we pause? Amy, are there any questions online that we can ask that we can touch on before we start talking about opening accounts?
Yeah, absolutely. We had a couple come through. So the first one is, how do I set up a self-directed account?
Perfect. That actually blends right into this slide right here. So this is specific to NewView, but you can scan that QR code right there and schedule a consultation with myself or any of my colleagues here at the office. We'll chat through what your current situation is, where your accounts currently sit, whether they're 401ks, IRAs, anything like that. And we'll discuss that best account that may fit both what you currently have and where you plan on going. Once we do that, we'll send you the application and the corresponding funding form for you to get everything moved over and started. And then once the account is open and funded, we'll make that introduction to the necessary team, whether it's real estate and notes, whether that's our private equity team or brokerage. We'll make that introduction with them, and then you'll work with them to get that first investment going, and they'll walk you through all the documentation that may be needed. So that blended perfectly there. I appreciate that one, Amy.
Yeah, absolutely. So our next question is, can I work with financial advisors or investment professionals to manage my investments?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We have several clients that are working with registered investment advisors or certified financial planners to help them manage not only their portfolio, but also they may be able to do some of that due diligence for you. So you're not only relying on your knowledge. And they also may be able to bring opportunities to you that you may not otherwise be available, whether that's through syndicators or sponsors that come across their desk, and they may be maybe one of the exclusive offerers of that investment opportunity. So it's great to chat with them and get that information from somebody who has a little bit more understanding of the market. If you're investing in real estate, then obviously you want to talk to somebody in the real estate industry that may not be tied to a certified planner or advisor or something like that. So always talk to the experts. If you're not the expert, talk to an expert in that industry and make sure that covers it. So.
Great. And then the last question from online is, what documentation and record keeping responsibilities do I have as an account holder?
Yeah, so most of the accounts and the record keeping will be done by our team and the corresponding pod, whether that's reconciling any sort of monthly payments, quarterly payments, anything like that, providing you any documentation. The most important time in the record keeping responsibilities shift to you is if you set up the checkbook LLC like we touched on earlier, or if you go the route of like a solo 401k and you elect to not have us be your record keeper on the account. You'll want to make sure that you're keeping a ledger of payments and credits that come in and out of that account, assuring that only the funds in the account are used for investment purposes or tied to the investment, let's say, properties that you own, and making sure that you're not commingling your funds. So the main thing is whether or not we're the record keeper appointed, or if you're doing it yourself. Once you do that, you'll want to make sure you're staying in compliance and also working with potentially a CPA to make sure you're covered on the tax documents and reporting side of it, whether it's a 5498 form, a 1099 form, anything like that may be needed, which, if we're being the record keeper on the account, we will provide those for you at no additional charge. It's all part of having an account here at Nubia.
And those are all the questions from online.
Perfect. Well, I left this one on here. I'm really excited about this, especially if you're looking to learn more about the world of alternative investing. In October, it's the 17th through the 18th. Join us here in Orlando at the Marriott downtown, where we'll be talking about not just not the asset classes we discussed here, but we may have additional asset classes and experts in those fields to come chat about that. It's not new view focused. It's more asset option focused, for lack of a better term, and give you the opportunity to learn about several different alternative investment options that may be available to you. And we do have an exciting keynote speaker we hope to announce very, very soon to anchor the event there. So scan this QR code here at the bottom corner and use the promo code early24. That'll knock $50 off of the ticket price for you for that 2-day event. Like I said, 17th and 18th of October. And then lastly, this QR code will take you to our landing page, connect you with all of our social media that's there, everything from Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and TikTok. That'll also give you the opportunity to download and subscribe to our podcast all about alts, and that will help you expand your knowledge on alternative investing for yourself. And that is everything for today. I do appreciate you guys taking the time today. If there's ever any questions, feel free to give us a call at the number here at the bottom. Ask for myself or any of the IRA specialists, and we'll get your questions answered. Hope you have a great day.